My name is Austin, and I graduated Archway in 2015. So one of the lower points that led me to recovery is when I was 17. I had just turned 17, so in Texas, that's an adult, so I could have been tried as an adult, and I got into a car accident with a 75-year-old man, in which his car was flipped upside down. Mine was shot into a ditch, and I remember immediately panicking. Oh shit, I'm 17, I'm going to prison. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. So I remember before I got into recovery and I got sober, there was a lot of things that I thought about myself. Like, I was extremely insecure about anything, about the way I looked, the way I sounded. I always felt like the odd man out. And then getting sober, like the thoughts about like the transition wasn't overnight, but like I could look at myself and say, I can work on these things. Like the things that I'm insecure about, like I have control over in most aspects. I remember the very first time I came to Archway when I came to visit, and it was definitely like a family environment. Like I showed up and the teachers and the kids were joking around and the support staff and everybody was having fun. I had showed up during a Friday, so it was what they called Friday fill-up. So everybody was literally just having fun. Like music was being blared, like the counselors were dancing more than the students were. It was like a very confusing environment. And as somebody who was like about to be exiting out of treatment, I had no idea what I was getting into. Like absolutely no idea. Like I was told I was going to visit a high school, and from what I could tell, this wasn't a high school. Archway graduation was very interesting, but it was awesome because it was like I was graduating. I wasn't supposed to graduate. I wasn't supposed to make it to 18. So my relationship with my family today is very different from when I got sober. My mom kind of grew up as a single mom raising me, and during my addiction, I took advantage of that. Because I was like, you're having to complete the job of two parents, so you have half the time to watch me, so I have double the time to take advantage of that. And my relationship with my dad, like before I was sober, was that I would say of like an employer to an employee. Like he would tell me certain things I needed to do in order to kind of get what I wanted. And I just followed that to a T. And then one day I woke up and I didn't care anymore. But now, to this day, like me and my mom, she'll call me for advice, and that's weird. Like she'll call me saying like, hey, I've been going through this, like what do I do? And it's not that she's looking for me for all the answers, like it's not that kind of pressure. But it's like, I bring stuff to the table now. Like, I know what to, like, I can help. Let me be of service. Like, where do you need me? And with my dad, like, I showed up to his house, made amends. 2 days later, he died in a plane crash. And it was like, that wasn't obviously like ideal. It's not what I wanted, but I got to leave that situation knowing like, you got to see who I always wanted to show you. Had I not been presented with the opportunity to go to Archway and get that way of recovery, I firmly believe one of two things. I would have never graduated high school. I probably would have substituted with a GED or something. And well, I guess they both lead to the same. I'd most likely be dead, considering before I got sober, I was like shooting heroin, and the active life expectancy for somebody shooting heroin is 3 months. And that was 5 years ago. So I firmly believe that I wouldn't be here. And so for that, I'm forever grateful, because it's like, had I not gone to Archway, Archway was the stepping stone into everything else I've received in recovery.